Hello YouTube, and welcome to an account belonging to a player who claims to have been playing for 2 years. I can promise you that is not 700 days of constant logging in, and you'll see more why later on. But you can already see at level 148, I am disappointed at how low this level is. VIP 3, so we have spent some money, and dear lord, what happened to our gems? 437. So my immediate look at this, just from the home page, is telling me, oh no, this is going to be a nightmare. If you're a newer player, if you're someone worried about making mistakes in Idle Heroes, well, today you're going to learn a lot. Mainly because we're going to use this account as a way to show you what not to do and help our buddy who owns this account to move forwards and make some more progress. So immediately, spending your gems is not good. I don't know exactly where the gems are getting spent, but the fact that you have no gems is alarming. Free-to-play players, one of the best resources for making progress is your gems. So keep them. If you're doing weird stuff, like spending them in the heroic summons, that's not a good idea. It's terrible value. In fact, we encourage players to not even be buying things here from the marketplace with gems, because gem spending is so backwards nowadays. It's all we want to be doing as players is spending our gems during big events. Another piece of good advice would be to use your gold to buy hero copies. So here we have these 3 stars. My advice to the owner of this account and to all of you is to make sure you buy the 3 stars and the 4 stars every single day. On top of that, promotion stones can be a really, really key resource for you, so I try and buy them as well. All of that with gold, it shouldn't be an issue. Now, another thing to go ahead and take a look at is the fact that our campaign has not been beaten. Ideally, when you reach level 130, you want to beat the entirety of campaign, reach the end of Apocalypse, and get yourself the possibility to unlock Void Campaign. That means you need a team of heroes who can beat campaign. There are some really strong heroes to consider. For example, you've got heroes like MKxJUMP, who can crowd control opponents. You can combine that with a hero like a Nosuke to deal big damage. Or you can go with a Shadow team and be running Eloise, who can pair alongside Tix. Really, really strong when you use these two together alongside an Ignis, who can feed energy and offer crowd control protection. Tons of strategies out there for beating early campaign. Unfortunately, that has not been achieved, and you can see this account is sat with a Lord of Fear Aspen and a Scarlet Queen Halora. 2 fine heroes. 2 heroes that work really well together. However, I do not recommend that you invest in Transcendence heroes until you've unlocked Void Campaign and you've beaten the Glory Challenge. At this particular area in the Glory Challenge, you can see you get rewarded Spiritual Essence for getting Shadow and Abyss heroes to Tree of Origin 3, same for Fortress and Forest, same for Light and Dark. What you can do by doing that is get yourself 600,000 Spiritual Essence. If you combine that with some additional Spiritual Essence, you can use that to get to level 120. You need 1.25 million. And by getting this whole bottom row done, by building a hero to 120, destroying them, and doing it again in every single faction, you will get 2.1 million, which is tons, because you can then use those to improve the Tree of Origin. One big issue for new players is you do not know about the Tree of Origin, you do not know what it gives you, and you do not know how to upgrade it, because it's not available to you early on. One of the key resources for improving the Tree of Origin on heroes is Stellar Shards. Therefore, it's essential that if you are a player who wants to do well and make the best progress, you want to be picking Stellar Shards as a reward whenever you can, instead of choosing Crystals of Transcendence. We can see here that Christian, the owner of this account, has instead chosen to pick Crystals of Transcendence. We know this because we have 2 Transcendence heroes on the account and nowhere near enough Stellar Shards to upgrade them. Ideally, for every 5 million crystals of transcendence, that's the amount you need to transcend the hero, we would want 15 million stellar shards. Other than stellar shards, another thing we need to prioritize is good artifacts. You can see here, there are no artifacts on this account that we can see right now that are mysterious. So we would assume that the good artifacts are equipped to our heroes. Let's go find out if that's the case. Starting off here with Lord of Fear Aspen, all he has is a golden crown. This would have been fine if we had an Eloise, and Eloise could use a single golden crown. That would go hard. And bro even said he used to have an E5 Eloise. I'm not sure what happened to that Eloise. I don't know why we invested in Aspen, because you actually don't have an artifact that works well with Aspen. Aspen typically wants to be using the melodic string, so let's see if we can find that here on the Queen. Nope, it's a Necronomicon. In fact, she doesn't even have resonance armor, and her stone at least is speed attack. That's good. And you turned the Eloise into Aspen. Why? Why did you do that? Because Eloise is so strong early on, and Aspen, without Tree of Origin improvements, and without the correct artifacts, is big poopy's not very strong. So we're kind of gimped because we can't build the Aspen properly. I like that you were able to give him crit attack. That means you did look how to build an Aspen well. Crit attack is great early on because you want to maximize his crit damage, ideally getting to 150%. You kind of missed the memo on that, though. It looks like you haven't done that. So I'm going to just change this damage reduction real quick to crit damage. That should take this up to, like, what, 135? 125. Okay, that's cool. And if this skin's not legendary, is it? Oh, it is. Okay. Cool. So actually, if you were able to get this skin to Mythic, which will take loads of time, you'll have to beat Void Campaign up to 3-3-10, so that's not going to happen at all. But with Phoenix, we can go up to 145, which is pretty good. So now we need to go and look what your monsters are. Hey! Love it! Bro has Phoenix. Is it upgraded? Yeah, you can see we get our 20% crit damage from here, 20% holy damage. So at least we've got a good pet to use alongside the Aspen. So at least we can get his crit damage to be decent. That's fine. And Lord of Fear Aspen without subs is buns. Yep, and we can't even sublime anything on this Aspen because we haven't unlocked Void Campaign and we don't have Tree of Origin. Which leads us to the next point. Do we have any sublimation on the account? No. There is not a single drop of sublimation at all. Sublimation is the resource you need when you start to Tree of Origin upgrade heroes to then improve their skills. Sublimation skills get some really powerful bonus abilities. With no sublimation here, we're in a bit of a funny position. We do have a chest here, only offering 5,400. That's not a lot. You need 180,000 sublimation in the active skill to get Lord of Fear Aspen's active skill upgraded and improved. So it's extremely unfortunate that you haven't been picking sublimation as a reward during events. I think the reason that's the case is because bro hasn't been able to, because he's got no gems, and if you look at his bag, he has no heroic summon scrolls and no prophet orbs. And wishing coins, that's 25 as well. So it looks like our friend here has been using all of his resources outside of events and not saving them for big events. In fact, one of the best things you can do is skip events, right? You don't have to try and do an event every single time it comes around. Skipping the event and not doing it is really good to allow you to stockpile resources. The way you get these resources is by playing the game, engaging with the game modes, logging in, doing events, and skipping ones when you do not have enough resources. The best way to know if you have enough resources is check out my event review videos every single Friday. Subscribe to make sure you never miss those, because I'll always tell you the best way to get resources. Showing what subs are? Well, it's kind of hard to, really. But we can go into this little menu here, click on Lord of Fear Aspen, and we should be able to take a look at his tree. You can see here, an upgraded Aspen gets additional crit on his active skill if you sublime this. He gets additional extra damage to enemies who have less than 60% HP, and he inflicts Fear Abyssal Gaze to all targets which take hits from him. So that's really nice. Also, you will want to upgrade this ability here, Source of Fear, because it will improve the amount of energy that he gives himself. You can see at the end of each round, reduces the energy of all enemies with fear by 50, and there's a 30% chance to reduce their energy. Whilst also you can see, whenever an enemy is inflicted with fear, Aspen will heal, and he'll give himself 25 energy, also improving his attack and control immunity. So this is a really, really nice way of weaponizing his crowd control, his fear ability, to make it buff him as well. So you'll need 45,000 sublimation for passive 3 to get this upgraded as well. If we compare that to its normal form, you can see that even just from having Void 3, it only gives 20 energy. So we get 5 extra energy, and that 5 energy can make a huge difference, especially in things like Aspen Dungeon. People asking in chat if this account should be saving for certain events. Just save for every event. And if only the event gives you good rewards, then do it. If it doesn't, skip, wait for the next one. Your progress is proportional to how often you log in and how many resources you gain. If you approach an event and you see a video of me saying, hey, you need to use 700 scrolls, and you look and go, well, I don't have 700 scrolls, the answer's simple. Don't use your scrolls. Save them for the next one. This game rewards patience. Saving things, using them strategically, and maximizing your resource gain is the best way to make progress. If this account happened to be less than 130 levels, it wouldn't be able to push through campaign, but you'd still want to be stockpiling things for when you finally do reach level 130. Go check out my Contract Story Gem series, where I'm doing a free-to-play run only using Contract Story Gems on events to slightly improve the rate of our progress, and we then stockpile resources eventually for when we hit level 130, and when that happens, we can use all of what we've accumulated to make an incredibly strong account. It seems weird, and it's a very advanced way of playing, but I promise you, it's the best way to play to maximize your progress as you progress through the game. So Bro has just said there in chat that he does use his resources all the time. That is something you're going to need to stop to make sure that you can do events and get these really big things. This explains why we don't have artifacts, why we don't have sublimation. And this is one of the big reasons people actually quit the game and give up on it, is because they realize that they've just been wasting everything immediately, not saving it for events, and therefore have no way of getting any of the more powerful things to improve their heroes. This game is not like AFK Journey, where you can just use your summons all the time. I think that's what it was like when I played. This is a game that rewards patience. It rewards you to save things and use them optimally. And by strategically using resources from event to event, you can maximize what you acquire on the account. Whether it's sublimation, whether it's artifacts, anything like that can help. Now, one big thing our bro needs to go ahead and do is get himself melodic strings. That will massively improve the performance of his Aspen. We need attack, we need holy damage, we need energy, and more importantly, when this is upgraded, it will give you a massive all damage dealt bonus. Getting 4 copies of melodic strings will allow you to do a huge active. Although one big other issue is we also need a lot of stellar shards to allow us to upgrade our heroes. And all of these things can be acquired from the glorious treasury. You can see here this glorious treasury gives us stellar shards, which is nice, but let's say we had 10 points in the glorious treasury. Instead, we could get a melodic strings. And this is one huge conflict. We need artifacts, but we need stellar shards. And this is a huge problem now for the account. You've got yourself in a stalemate situation where to fix your stellar shard situation, you have to not get artifacts because you can't get them, because you're too busy picking stellar shards. And this is now going to be an issue for you, where you're constantly stuck between this awkward scenario where you need stellar shards, but you need artifacts, and you can only pick one at a time. Very unfortunate position to be in, and you've done this to yourself by not prioritizing artifacts earlier on and not picking up stellar shards when you could have done, because you chose Crystals of Transcendence instead. And this has your account in this awkward position where you have these Transcendence heroes that you can't use because you don't have the stellar shards to upgrade them, and you don't have the artifacts to make them work properly. We can do something, though, to help this account. And if you look at his artifacts, it starts with here. Magic Source. This gives energy. If we put Magic Source onto Queen, we're then able to give ourselves an artifact that is going to feed Queen energy. When we have 50 energy at the start of a round, that takes us to 100 because we start with 50. And that means we can do an active skill in round 1. This is super important for Queen because her active skill increases the amount of critical strike damage opponents take. This is why you want Queen to be fast, and this is why we want to be running her alongside Aspen. Because not only is Queen going to be a tenant for the Aspen, she's going to allow the Aspen to do as much damage as possible. Look at that. Magic Source is in there. Very nice. She's speed attack, which takes her speed to 1797, which is almost quicker than Aspen. I just need to move a few small things around. I see a small problem. This Aspen is extremely quick. I think a lot of this is going to be due to the Celestial Island. Probably also he's got speed coming from his shoes. So if we take his shoes off, that takes him to 1823. Why? Oh, I know why Halora's slow. It's the guild tech. Bro has no guild tech. He hasn't even finished the inner ring of warrior. We still have this little upgrade to do here, which I've just finished for him now. Ranger is barely upgraded. I do not know what you've been doing, bro, but you've not been playing the game very much. To be in this position where you have no guild coins is shocking. Unless, oh no, has he been going to the store and exchanging them here? If this is the case, that is terrifying. Because, no, you have, oh, do not do, this is the worst, this is worse than choosing Crystals of Transcendence instead of Stellar Shards. Because it's a slow grind getting guild coins. Oh, no. Because this shop sucks as well. There's nothing good here. Like, 5 stars? Who cares? Oh, boy. And that means we can't upgrade Ranger. We can't put the speed on Ranger that we get from here. Oh. No. No, 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 no. You say Queen? Dude, Queen is not worth picking up here, bro. Like, just, that is... Oh. That is heartbreaking. Yikes. So, yeah, lacking guild coins because you've wasted them really sucks. There's no way to fix this either. It's permanent damage. It just means we have to pick them up from future events and hope for the best. And you see, like, look at the 5 stars you have on the account. It's not like you're struggling for them. You have loads. That's really unfortunate. Let's go see if we can at least help you in some way, shape, or form in the Void campaign. What are we struggling against here? We don't even have a team. Like, we have 2 heroes. Yikes. There's not an Ignis here. Ignis is phenomenal. She's able to feed energy. She would be a great addition to the account, but there's not even an Ignis copy in sight. This hero here, she would be amazing. Even Waldeck would be fantastic because he keeps us alive with Blood Frenzy. No copies of him that I can really see. Maybe there's like 1. No, I don't see a single Waldeck. For some reason, we're building an 8-star Williams. You don't even have Williams copies, but now we're stuck with this Abyss food in here. Have we ever built any of these heroes? I mean, you had a 10-star King Bot and you fed it. That's fine. You did have Ignises. Oh, you fed your Ignises. Bro, what? Let me guess. You had Home Jung's as well and you fed those. Yeah. Do we have Home Jung copies? 1. Because Home Jung would be amazing alongside Aspen as well to give crowd control and turn enemies into doves. Well, at least Demon Hunter and Christian are food. Wait. There was a 6-star Home Jung in the Pokédex? Oh, there was. There was right here. Which means we've built and fed a Home Jung. Oh, that's so sad. Because Home Jung works so well with Aspen because he turns enemies into doves. Whilst Aspen can hurry up and kill them. Yeah, this is a huge mistake people make, is they don't know what heroes are worth keeping around. And they just end up feeding everything. Or they try to build too many good heroes at once. And they force themselves to feed them to make other heroes. It's a shame. Because, like, where's the Eloise copies all gone, right? You said you had an E5 Eloise. Nowhere to be seen. Do we have anyone that can be a support here? Right, yes, we do, actually. We have Tixes. We're going to do some weird stuff. I'm going to build some Tixes to be some side support heroes. They'll do something. Tell me we have carry. No! If I see a carry... Bro! What? You had 5-star carry and you fed her? Oh, light and dark heroes are really hard to get. This is big sad. Oof. So with no carries, and obviously no heroes in the bag, yikes, you basically fed everything? There's no one here. Oh, a Melissa, that's nice. A couple Heart Watchers, that's okay. If you're ever unsure if a hero is food or not, one of the easiest things you can do is check where they come from. If they come out of the Elite Hero Shard box, be wary about feeding them. These are rarer heroes. They are harder to get than others. Same thing goes for Elite Light and Darks, right? If you look in here, this list of Dark heroes, always good to double check whether these ones are good or not. Same thing goes for Light too. If you're ever in doubt, do not feed these copies, because Elite heroes are harder to acquire and oftentimes will be good. Whether it's as tenants, heroes to just use, or other things like that. Well, let's see if we can do something with this account anyway. Do we have anyone else we can use here to help? With no carries, we can't steal energy from opponents. I guess we could try a Rogan here to give us a little bit of crit damage. I don't hate that plan. That will take us to 150%. So I'm actually going to chuck a Rogan in here. And 2 Tixes, Rogan. Honestly, I might just chuck in the Onkiramaru and hope for the best. Let's see what we can do. I don't even know what this wave's going to be, but I'm pretty sure we're going to find out. So, let's drop in Onki, our 2 Tixes, Rogan here as well. Put the Phoenix Pet in. Let's see how Bro does in campaign. 5-star homes. I don't think it'll be good enough. Right, what are we facing here? Oh, it's Mihms and Michelle's. That's not pretty. We can steal their attack, though, with Tixes, which is nice. But the only issue is we're now going to take a ton of damage. Yeah. That's sad. So what I'm actually going to do to beat this, I'm just going to run Aspen on his own. Because the Mihms deal damage when people die. So why fill your team with heroes when them dying is just going to get you killed? So let's just go put the single Aspen in against this, and hopefully this helps. We are going to lose energy here. But we should heal thanks to having Balance Strike. Oh, we got stunned. Of course, Michelle stuns. Ah, this is where we would want a 9-star Ignis to make us control immune. That's so sad. If we had a 9-star Ignis, we would never get stunned by the Michelles, and then we'd be completely fine. I'm gonna have to run Control Purify here, but then we don't get the Attribute Reduction Purify, and that's often going to be a bad thing as well. I still have to run us on the back line. But the only issue here is now we're just going to get all our attacks stolen, and we don't have Attribute Reduction Purify to remove it. Yep. So we're really not hitting very hard. And it means we're not going to heal as much either. Can we put him frontline? I can try. The only issue then is we take 2 lots of crowd control. We have the Petrify from the Mihms, and we have the Stun from the Michelles. Yikes. It's miserable whatever way it goes. And we take more damage because Mihms are actually really, really solid at hitting frontliners. I think there's armor reduction. So actually they can do tons of damage to us if we're on the front line. Because Mihm does different things depending on if he's hitting a frontline or a backline hero, for those of you that don't know. Oh boy, yeah, that's a horrid wave. To beat this, my recommendation would be get yourself an Ignis, build it to 9-star, get this passive that gives you 100% control immunity, and then you don't have to worry about the stuns. And then you can put Aspen on the back line, give him a tribute reduction purify, and then you'll be fine. The really sad thing is Eloise at E5 would have just beaten that. Eloise plus Ignis equals the whole of campaign beaten. And in the fights where Eloise can't do it, Tix will. Literally, you can clear the whole of campaign with a golden crown on Eloise, a melodic strings on Tix, and an Ignis either giving full control immunity to Eloise or an active skill to Tix in round 2. Because you either need the 100% control immunity to keep your Eloise safe, or you need the 100 energy on Tix in round 2. And you had Tix and Eloise, and you got rid of them. Yikes. So this actually goes to show, just because you can build Transcendence heroes doesn't mean you should. When you stare at an account like this, you might go, ooh, look, Lord of Fear Aspen, Scarlet Queen Halora. They cannot do it when they're like this. They are too weak. Without having beaten campaign, you cannot get the Tree of Origin on them. The things that make Transcendence heroes good are just unavailable to you. So my best advice for anyone trying to beat campaign, if you're going to get Transcendence heroes, if you have 5 million crystals of Transcendence, build Transcendence heroes that support your existing strategy. Whether that strategy is using a Nosuke with MKxJUMP, whether it's using Eloise alongside Tix, whether it's something else spicy like Wukong, for example, who could even potentially be really, really good in the early game. Whatever it is you're using, build a Transcendence hero that supports that strategy. If it's Eloise, one of the best ones is Hyperspace Hunter Ailamak, or you can even go with Melissa. Both of these are going to give protection and more damage to your team. If you want to build something kind of in the middle, you can go with Halora, and then you could use that Halora to be a hero later on with Aspen, and that way you don't even have to get rid of the Halora. It's actually quite nice. It just stays on your account, so you save yourself 10 soul symbols. However, if you're using a different strategy where it's not like Eloise, because Eloise wants to get hit, if that's not the case for you, because you're using a different, more aggressive strategy where getting hit doesn't bother you, you could even consider using Betty early on to crowd control opponents, because the crowd control will help that strategy, and that will coincide with stuff like MKxJUMP, whose doves are also really good, and you could build, potentially if you have enough demon bells for energy feed or elusive mirrors and whatnot, you could actually get some really crazy crowd control. But hey, good luck to anyone out there that's in a similar position and considering building Transcendence heroes. It's not the best option. As you can see here, this account is cooked because, sadly, its Transcendence heroes aren't properly upgraded. We don't have the Stellar Shards to back them up. We don't even have the guild tech to back them up. So hopefully there's lots of things we've covered today that point out different areas of where our friend here has been wasting resources and places that he can hopefully not repeat those mistakes, right? Use your guild coins to upgrade the guild tech. Use your resources during events if they get you strong rewards. And absolutely do not go building Transcendence heroes and chasing crystals of Transcendence, because doing this is not beneficial until you've beaten the whole of campaign. Instead, use heroes that can beat campaign. And you want to know his Cloud Island? Let's go take a quick look at this. Oh, wow. We have like no Celestial Island resources. Why'd you have so many normal toolboxes? What? 411,000? But everything else is super low? I'm confused. Also, we don't even have Aspen's Tenants. How the heck did you get to 5 million crystals of Transcendence without having enough heroes to build Tenants? That's called picking the wrong resources, my friends. That is crazy. So, yeah. Never, ever, ever, ever choose crystals of Transcendence as a reward, because it's just going to get you in this mess, where your heroes look okay, but when you actually use them, you realize they suck. Good luck, folks. If you learned something, or if you're new to Idle Heroes, go ahead and give us a wave in the comment section. Let us know how you are, and hopefully, if we can give you some advice through our Discord or other videos here on this channel, your account can grow and avoid some of the mistakes that you've seen today. Until next time, though, have a great week, and happy idling.